non-binary friends of the Indiethon community. I am the DM Panda, one of the main organisers of the event, and I'm here to bring you a question and answer with the Samaritans themselves. We have been in touch with Rach from them. Unfortunately, she cannot be here today, but she has made this question and answer video about who they are, what they do, and to answer a few questions posed by the Indiethon community. So she can say it a lot better than I can, so we're going to go to see her now.
Hey Team Indiethon, I am Rach from Team Samaritans. I just want to say a huge thank you to each and every one of you for taking part in this amazing endurance fundraising event. Absolutely everything that you do, every second that you spend, every pound that you raise will make a huge difference to Samaritans. So we really appreciate all the effort that you're putting in through this epic streaming event to raise vital funds and awareness about Samaritans and the work that we do. So I know you all had a few questions for me and wanted to know a bit more about Samaritans. I'm really sorry I can't be with you live. I had a prior commitment. So I'm just recording this to answer those questions, give you a bit of insight into Samaritans, and tell you all what an amazing impact that you're having by taking part in this. So who are Samaritans? What is our vision? So Samaritans' vision is really simple. It's that fewer people die by suicide. And we achieve this through a variety of services that we run. So we are a completely free 24/7, 365 days of the year listening service. So our 22,000 plus volunteers across the UK and the Republic of Ireland are there every single minute of every day, answering calls from people who are just struggling to cope. Whatever it is they might be going through, you can call Samaritans. You don't have to be suicidal to call us. It really is about whatever you're feeling. If you need somebody to talk through to and work it through with, that they're there for you. So as well as our phone line, which we are best known for, which you can call on 116123, and our email service, joe@samaritans.org, we also have a range of other services such as online listening tips and other general guidance that you can find on our website about how to support people you're worried about, how to look after your own well-being, and different things like that. We also have our media advisory team who help filmmakers, television, novelists, journalists talk about suicide and self-harm safely. We have our online excellence program, which specifically helps people working in online industries, social media, to look after people online better and make sure that we're talking about suicide and self-harm in safe ways. We also have specialised work in schools and workplaces and prisons. We work with the military veterans and their families. Loads of people. We do lots and lots of work with a range of different communities to really try and make sure we are there for everyone, because that is our primary goal, to make sure everybody has somebody to listen to them. We also have other different ways that you can get in touch with us and other different services if phone and email aren't the best methods of communication for you. So you can use our self-help app for day-to-day general well-being and management of mental health. You can write a pen and paper letter and get one back if you prefer that kind of contact. We're also piloting online chat, which is something that we're really excited about as a different way to get in touch with us. You also asked me sort of what kind of things we were excited about. So as well as being super excited about online chat, we at Samaritans are really excited to announce that we are the London Marathon Charity of the Year for 2024, which is an amazing opportunity for us to reach even more people with Samaritan's message and to raise some really vital funds too, just like you're all doing. The first question, big question you had for me was, are your services open to anyone and are there any limitations? So I hope I've already addressed this one, but I'll say it again. Samaritans is here for everyone. If you're in the UK or the Republic of Ireland, we encourage people from all walks of life to talk to us. Our volunteers aren't there to give advice, but they're there to provide emotional support through active listening. So whatever it is you're going through, you can call a volunteer. They will help you talk it through, support you, and help you reach the conclusions that you are looking for and just provide that emotional support throughout. But anyone around the globe can access our tips and advice, such as our shush listening tips or advice on supporting people you're worried about via our website. So if you are outside of the UK and the Republic of Ireland, you can still get support from Samaritans in different ways. So do feel free to take a look at www.samaritans.org to get those tips and advice on our website. Next question, I really appreciated and was really glad to see in here. It's I'm autistic and I'm very bad at verbally expressing my emotions. Should I still reach out to you? Absolutely. You can still reach out to Samaritans no matter what. Our volunteers are there to sit and listen and help you work through your feelings in your own time and in your own words. But if verbally expressing yourself is still something you're struggling with and you don't feel comfortable picking up a phone, as I said, you can send an email instead, or you might find our self-help app a really helpful starting point for getting to grips with how you're feeling. There's some great tools and techniques in there to help you work through how you might be feeling and how to think about the right words to express what you're going through. So definitely have a look at that. You can find out more on our website. And if writing things down works better for you, do remember email and our handwritten letter services are available. So you can use that to explore your thoughts and feelings if verbally expressing them is something that you find more challenging. So you can find out again more about that on our website as well. Next question from the community was, I'm not sure if I should talk about a certain topic because I'm afraid it won't be understood properly. Should I still reach out to you? So what I would like to say to anyone who's concerned about calling Samaritans is that Samaritans calls are completely confidential and totally judgment free. So you can talk to our volunteers about whatever it is that you are going through. They won't tell you what to do. They're not going to judge you in any way. So whatever it is that's worrying you, you can talk to them and they will support you through that. Next question is, what is the most common reason that people call? People call Samaritans for all sorts of reasons. It could be mental health, it could be financial worries, loneliness, stress, problems at work or at home. Maybe they've got issues with friends and family, or just anything whatsoever that might just be weighing on them and making life difficult. So you really don't have to be suicidal to call Samaritans. About 1 in 5 of our contacts are from people who are feeling suicidal. But the vast majority of calls come from people experiencing all sorts of emotions who just need somebody to talk to about it and talk it through with. So, do we have any restrictions on what you can talk about? As I've said, anyone can call Samaritans, whatever it is they're going through, and talk to Samaritans about it. The one thing that we will say, though, is that we also have to protect our volunteers. We have a duty of care to them as well. So we won't tolerate abusive behaviour. They are amazing people, but they are also everyday people who are supporting everyday people. And we need to look after their well-being as well. So you can call Samaritans about absolutely anything, but we look after our volunteers and make sure that they aren't on the receiving end of any abusive speech or anything that could be damaging to them. Are calls tracked or recorded? Great question. Calls are completely confidential and anonymous. We might take some notes, but any information that we do note down is used to better understand our service. We won't take personal information, we won't record your calls, and we don't see your phone number or any personal details when you call. So when I say it is completely confidential and anonymous, that's what we mean. Can you tell me more about the suicide safety plan? This is a really interesting question. So a suicide safety plan helps remind you of the things that you can do to stay safe if you are thinking about harming yourself or if you're worried that you might end up at crisis point. So in our self-help app, which I've mentioned before, there is an option to create a suicide safety plan. And it has prompts about the different areas to think of. So for example, you can create a list of people who can help you if you reach crisis point. Maybe keep a record of things that give you hope and upload a picture to go with it. So you can go back and check that list when you're really struggling. You can also, for example, create a list of warning signs to help you realize that you are reaching that crisis point, as well as creating a list of the things you can proactively do to keep yourself safe. So it's definitely worth taking a look at our self-help app if a suicide safety plan is something that you are interested in exploring and think would be helpful to you. as well as taking a look at the self-help app just for managing day-to-day well-being and keeping track of your mood and how you're doing. So the next question, I really, really liked this one. It was, if you could reach out to somebody in need right now, what would you say? And I thought about this one long and hard and ultimately came back to the really simple answer of talk to someone. If you're struggling right now, talk to somebody. There's always someone there to listen, whether that's calling Samaritans or a similar service if you live somewhere else. We recommend visiting Befrienders Worldwide to find similar services in other countries. Um, that's fantastic. But you can also reach out to loved ones and other people in your life. There is always somebody who's willing to listen and to be there for you, whatever it is you're going through. You really don't have to face it alone. I just want to remind people that suicidal thoughts are far more common than we realise. 1 in 5 people will have these kind of thoughts at some point in their lives. And it's important to remember that these thoughts are very rarely permanent. They are very likely to pass. If we can hold on to that, that makes a really big difference. So if you can, reach out and talk to somebody, and try to remember that these difficult feelings aren't necessarily permanent. And my last thing that I would want to say to somebody who is struggling is it's all right not to be all right. Um, yeah. So, next question. What one key skill do you think is the most important to work or volunteer for Samaritans? This was tough. There are loads of various skills that we're looking for in our volunteers, and they are an incredibly talented bunch of people. But I think the 2 most valuable skills are empathy and open-mindedness. Samaritans volunteers are willing to understand someone else's point of view, even if it's different from their own. And they have to be comfortable sharing another person's feelings. So really it boils down to being empathetic and open-minded to make you an excellent Samaritans volunteer. Next question from the community is, what is the best part of working for Samaritans? Well, I'm really lucky. I love my job. It is fantastic. I absolutely love working for Samaritans. So I think what it really boils down to is knowing that you're making such a difference. So on average, we receive 10,000 calls every single day. And it just takes £5 to answer one of these potentially life-changing calls. So knowing that that's the kind of impact that we're having, that makes a huge difference. And being able to help fantastic fundraisers like you and everybody involved in Indiethon is incredibly humbling, because I know just what an impact that you're having. I know that you have the power to potentially save lives, and I get to help you do that. That is phenomenal. So you should all be incredibly proud of everything you're doing, because that is the best part of my job, is being able to help you achieve amazing things. Um, and that leads us nicely into our next question, which is the final one that you had for me, which is, how can you help or support Samaritans? So there's loads of ways to support Samaritans, and you're already doing it by taking part in Indiethon, whether you are proactively streaming, whether you are fundraising, whether you're donating, whether you're just watching, sharing tweets, raising awareness. Whatever your participation in this event is, you're making a huge difference, because you are raising awareness of the fact that it's okay not to be okay, and help is out there, and you're raising vital funds to help keep Samaritans volunteers listening round the clock. Both of those things are truly amazing, and we really appreciate that support. So you can always sign up for fundraising activities like Indiethon, or maybe you want to do something else, running events, cycling events, bake sales, you name it. If you can turn it into a fundraising activity, we've got the team here to support you and make sure you have an amazing time. You can also make a donation directly via our website at some point in the future if you're not able to donate via Indiethon this weekend. And as I mentioned, just £5 answers a potentially life-saving call. That makes a massive difference and is a huge support. And obviously, everything that you raise as part of Indiethon all goes towards that, and all goes towards keeping Samaritans volunteers listening round the clock and answering those 10,000 calls a day. But there's also other ways you can get involved. So do take a look on our social media, share posts, retweet things. We have shout outs for petitions and things like that from time to time. We share advice and listening tips, all sorts of different things. So definitely check that out and get involved in the kind of content we're putting out and help us spread that message even further. Um, you can also take a look at our listening tips and actively learn how to be a better listener, because ultimately we want more people to have the skills to listen well. And the more people who are in a good place to support other people that they care about, the better, as far as we're concerned. So do take a look on our website for our shush listening tips, if you would like to learn to be a better listener. And we've also got a book out about how to be a better listener as well, if you want a bit more in-depth advice and a bit of a read on how to support the people around you. If you are in the UK or the Republic of Ireland and interested in volunteering, we're also always on the lookout for more listening volunteers, but we also need volunteers for big events like London Marathon, especially 2024, and to provide support roles in our branches. So helping with admin, organising fundraising, supporting with publicity and things like that. So if you'd like to be a Samaritans listening volunteer or any other kind of volunteer, do check out the volunteering section of our website and find out how you can support us in a practical way by donating your time, which is incredibly valuable. But most importantly, what it really boils down to is helping us break the stigma. It's really important that we break the stigma down around mental health and suicide and stop being afraid of talking about these things and using these words. So talk about Samaritans, share our social media posts, tell your friends and family, check in on your friends and family, and help get everybody listening and supporting each other. So those are all the questions from the amazing Indiethon community, and I'm so glad that you asked those of me, because it's been really great just to share a bit of an insight into Samaritans. As I mentioned, our ultimate goal is that fewer people die by suicide, and it's thanks to amazing people like you who are putting in time and energy and effort to fundraise and awareness raise that we're able to do that. So, from the very bottom of my heart, and on behalf of everybody at Samaritans, a huge thank you to all of you involved in Indiethon. I hope you have an amazing time over the course of this epic event, and I can't wait to see everything that you get up to. Thanks so much.
A big thank you to Rach and the Samaritans team for answering our questions, and I hope it has been helpful to you. As somebody who has struggled with their mental health, I can honestly say I wouldn't be here today without the Samaritans. They have helped me so much. We're going to go to a brief intermission, and then we will bring you the next run and the rest of the marathon. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.